So one more thing before we end our consumer part in this course, in this module, and because we were talking about how to influence consumers, right? So one of the most popular book in the influencing people is the Psychology of Persuasion book by Robert Cialdini. Anyone read it before? You don't need to read. I'm going to explain everything. Yeah, so Robert Cialdini actually first published this book in 1980s, and it wasn't like, directly a marketing book at the time, but marketers loved the stories and examples in it. And Cialdini first shared 6 principles. It's known as principles of Cialdini, or Cialdini's principles. And then later, because of the success of the book, he published a new version. Probably the publisher said that, hey, so we need to publish a new one. So he added one more as a community, which is, again, I think it was already part of the social proof. But anyway. So it's all about the book sales. And then the first one, so this Cialdini principles is liking principle of liking. And he basically says people like those who like them. It has 2 branches, to be honest. One is we generally listen to people who are like us, okay, like look like us, or did the same thing that we did, okay, the similarity, just focusing on similarity. But maybe the more interesting part is it also takes into account the physical attractiveness. So we tend to believe the people that we find attractive. And there are so many articles for celebrity influencers on social media, and they add this attractiveness as an element for their influencing capabilities. So physical attractiveness, liking something, and if they look like us, uncover real similarities and offer genuine praise. And then when we say real similarities, it doesn't have to be like really big similarities, right? So it can be smoking the same cigarette, right? So, oh, he's a smoker, she's a smoker. They are actually spending some time together, and they believe what they say to each other, right? That's the common point that they find. Or they are like they belong to the same religion, same ethnicity, watching the same TV show, like series. All of those are some sort of similarity that people actually take into account to get advice from them. Okay, so if you are watching the same TV show, you are not getting life advice, of course, but you are actually getting advice for other TV shows, and you believe them. You say, okay, since we like the same thing, so it makes sense. Probably I will like the recommendation that you give to me. And then other principles, reciprocity principles, is that if we do a kindness to someone, they will try to give it back, right? So they will try to repay it in that kindness. But the critical part is when you do something, you are not explicitly saying them like I'm doing this, but I'm expecting something in return. It's not how it works. So you are doing this without expecting anything, but in return, because it's part of our nature, we like to repay that. And there's a huge book, like a whole book about this, Give and Take, from Adam Grant. This was also one of the bestsellers. And in the book, the whole book is actually dedicated to reciprocity principles, and Adam Grant shares how people who are willing to give, like help other people, are more successful because they are getting all of those favors back. Maybe not right now, like immediately, but people talk about them like highly, and people actually, refer them to some jobs or help them to get promotions and everything. And those people maybe just help them in a small way, do them like a favor, but they want to repay it. Okay, so that is the reciprocity principle. But you will probably say that, so what is in it for us for marketing? So marketers use it actually very explicitly. They said that here's a 1-month free membership. So I'm doing a favor to you. So what we need to do in return? Just buy the second month, right? So because you didn't pay anything for the first month. Or, so if you go to Spotify, they said, okay, 3 months free membership, 3 months, right? So it's a lot of time. But in 3 months, you are spending a lot of time over there, you have your playlist and everything, and then you don't like to change it afterwards. And you said, I didn't pay 3 months, yeah.
I have one of the things that we talked about the other day. So one of my best friends has got a podcast to how to learn Spanish, and he uses that podcast to promote his course that he does online. And he says that people just buy the course because they like so much the podcast that they just feel the need to pay him back.
Exactly.
And he's made like so much success because of.
Great example, right? So the podcast is free, so they are not selling it. They said, okay, I'm just here to help for you to learn Spanish or practice Spanish, etc. by the way, I developed this course if you like to buy it. So there's no rush, but people generally want to buy to support, right? I mean, that is how Wikipedia works from the scratch actually. Wikipedia said, look, we are not going to show you any advertising. We are just trying to help you. But then every year they ask for a small contribution because they said, look, otherwise we cannot be alive, right? So in the market. So that is how give and take works, reciprocity works. And the other principle is consistency principle. So people align with their clear commitment. So some companies say that, even actually UK government say that we are gonna be like carbon carbon zero in like 10 years time or something, but then they change it actually because they like to increase the tax on Chinese e-vehicles and it affected their decision. But anyway, when companies say that, okay, we are gonna be carbon neutral, so we will have this target to go to zero carbon emission, right? So that type of thing, if they make those commitments explicitly, they tend to keep those promises, commitments, right? So because they know that if they don't do it, they will get a backlash from their stakeholders, shareholders, or their target audience, consumers, okay? So that's why it's consistency principle. They like to stay consistent with their promises. Scarcity might be one of the most popular ones. So it relies on fear of missing out. There is a term in psychology, we all have this fear of missing out. We don't like to lose good things like discounts, offers, and everything, right? So it's only limited time, and you feel like, oh, I need to buy this. And those markets, especially airlines or booking websites, they are relying on this. So if you spend like 3-4 minutes on an airline website, they activate this offer, and they said that only 3 tickets left from this price. Sometimes, if you change your browser or like use like an incognito version, then you can see like a normal price actually without any information like that. So because they try to rush you to buy it because there are only 3 tickets left. You like to buy it or not? Sometimes I actually even like increase price suddenly when I look at another browser. I see like a normal price. So they all play this type of games. Unfortunately, it's called like scarcity effect because we don't like to use that type of things, and limited time offers are always, not always, but they generally work for certain products. Authority, again, Cialdini said that people trust experts, and even though, so we shared this, we allude to heuristic, experts are not right all the time, but we tend to believe them, we think that experts are right. But if experts are right, why do we have economic crisis every 5-10 years in the world, right? So there are so many economists talking on TV shows, but most of the time they use like doctor's recommendation, okay? Or they put a, for example, in America they have that, they used to have, I think they still have Dr. Oz. I don't know if he had like TV show. Yeah, so Dr. Oz like a celebrity doctor, and then he's recommending everything. So if you pay him enough, he's recommending everything. But people trust him because they see him, and he's a doctor, not like me, a medical doctor. So you don't trust me when I recommend something. But so they have these medical doctors. They are more maybe like people feel like they are more trustworthy or responsible, and that's why you see so many, especially for that type of, I don't know, like some creams or some other well-being product, they always use someone with a white uniform. Right?
We talked about before, brokers as well, banking brokers.
Yeah, so we trust, yeah, because we think that they know all the deals and all the dynamics in the market, and we trust them, right? So if we have this expertise, we tend to trust them, even though it's not true, like I said. Yeah, go ahead, Marcelo. Sure.
With social media and influencers, is it that people, like this principle is going away because the people that are now selling products or creams or like skincare on TikTok is huge, right? But they're not dermatologists, but people trust them. Is it because they are becoming the expert, or is the other?
Yeah, liking principles. Yeah, so the main driver for that one is liking principle. So they feel like actually those influencers, that first they are attractive probably, or they look like them, or so they are like them, and they tend to trust them, right? So they say, okay, so if they are using and they see a benefit, and yeah, I'm like that, so I have a similar skin, or I don't know, it's a similar height or similar age, whatever it is, and they tend to believe them more than others. So that's one effect, like liking principle. But funnily enough, some of them claim that they are experts too, right? So maybe not for makeup product and stuff, but there are a lot of influencers, especially for fitness. So when they are in shape, they start opening a fitness channel and say that use this. This is how I lose weight, right? Then they saw so many dangerous stuff, right? So, and then especially for the health. So they said, use this product, have like 10 eggs in the morning, and never eat broccoli, that type of stuff. So you can see so many like weird advice, but people think that, oh, that person is in shape. Maybe I should do the same thing. So there is some sort of authority, maybe not like medical part of it, but some other areas. Yeah, so people actually, especially for investment, nowadays they share their investment sheets. They said that this is how much money I made, and then try to claim they have knowledge and their authority in that area as well. Social media is a very dangerous place, especially like, in terms of influencing people. Happy?
I was just saying on the principle of authority, there's a yogi in India who's got a following worldwide. During the pandemic, he made some herbal capsules and said this would cure COVID. I mean, if he didn't make $1 billion from those tablets, I mean, you couldn't tell he's wealthy, but I imagine he's a very quiet billionaire right now.
It's a really good tactic, right? So when you have like this follower base,
Yeah.
and if they believe you, if they trust you, you can sell them whatever you want. So that's the problem. I cannot actually have this trust for the follower base. So I'm working on it on my YouTube channel. But I'm just kidding. I also need to find some sort of capsule that I can sell. That's how you make money. But yeah, that's true. Yeah, so when you have this authority, unfortunately, it works for so many things, right? So people have this, sometimes it's a religious follower base, sometimes in sports. So the most followers, who has the most followers? That's Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So in the entire world, Cristiano Ronaldo has the largest follower on every social media platform. Mr. Beast on YouTube, but I think that he will catch him soon, right? So he just started a few weeks ago. But on Instagram, like Cristiano Ronaldo has the largest follower base. It doesn't make sense to me, right? So he's not playing well anymore, but he still has the summit, right? But yeah, so authority is a different maybe like in a principle. So you don't have to be expert, but if people believe that you are an authority in that field, that's enough actually.
But if you look at,
Yeah.
so Kim Kardashian was fined for promoting cryptocurrency. Now, given her wealth and her business acumen and the wealth she's created, does she not fit into liking and potentially authority as well?
Yeah, I think celebrities, they have a different part, but they might, because when we talk about celebrities, if you think of celebrities, like so actors and actresses, they don't have any talent apart from, acting. But people find them trustworthy, right? So, and brands use them, and they actually promote so many different products. Actually, they don't have any expertise, right? And in terms of liking, because liking principles, apart from attractiveness part, let's be honest, most of them are not even attractive anymore. Right? So, but somehow people find them trustworthy or like to follow them. And the reason, I don't think any of this reason is mere exposure. So that is a really interesting principle in behavioral economics. So if you see a certain brand or person every day, you think that is part of your life, and you trust them, you like them. If you watch someone, even if they are not that attractive, if you see them on the like in the road, like streets in London, like you wouldn't probably notice. But if you see them on Netflix every day when you watch, like binge watch a video, you started to develop some sort of attraction, and you find them attractive. You tend to believe them, and they become trustworthy. Just getting exposure regularly. That's very interesting because they are also not in their real state. They are always in maybe they are funny or they are charismatic in their roles, and that's how you always imagine them, right? So that's why they said that you will be disappointed when you meet your hero, right? That's the thing, yeah.
I'm not sure if it was George Clooney, but I think it was, that he used to give an advert back when I lived in the States for Tylenol, and he said, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Yeah.
And I always take Tylenol for my headaches. And yeah, it's the same,
No, yeah, I think that's a great example because instead of using a doctor, if you use an actor playing a doctor, because I think he was one of this ER thing. Yeah, so ER roles. And most of the people actually, so believe them or find them more like trustworthy. That's a great example.
Wow.
And the last one, it is also the really famous social proof. We are all humans, we are social beings, and people follow the lead of similar others. So if you see that this is the most popular product, you trust that product. That's simple. And I'm going to share you a couple of examples how brands are using those principles in action. Okay, so let's look at this. Without knowing any details of these packages, which option get your attention first?
Most
Most
popular.
popular.
That's it, right? Very simple label on top. You start looking at most popular, and then you will compare the others and say that why this is most popular? Maybe I should buy this. They call it wisdom of crowd, right? So wisdom of crowd. If everyone likes this or buys this, I should buy the same thing. So that's like an effect of social proof. And then all the other e-commerce websites are doing this. Number one bestseller. Said, okay, what's this? I should read this book too. And sometimes you don't even know if it is really like number one bestseller or not, right? So there are this type of different labels now. Amazon is using.
Amazon's choice.
Yes, I was gonna come to that one. For example, right now, so let's start with that since we talk about it. I will go back to other examples. Those are Amazon badges, right? And the first one, Amazon choice. Which principle do you think they use?
Profit.
By saying Amazon choice, sorry.
Profit, but they take the cut on it.
Yeah, no, which principle? Cialdini's principle. So which one of the Cialdini's principles applying here, applicable here?
Sorry.
Authority. Exactly, right? So they said that Amazon's choice, like editor's choice, that type of things is principles of authority. And how about bestseller, number one release and top brand?
Social proof.
Social proof, right? So this is the most popular one. And how about climate pledge friendly? So this product, climate pledge friendly. Consistency, one part, right? So because we also like to be, if you like to be climate pledge friendly, right? So if you are wearing this Patagonia brand or you are talking about the environment, you like to say that, okay, I am also buying climate pledge friendly products, right? So that's one thing.
Also the social proof.
Yeah, so that you can also use that, right? It's climate pledge friendly. Right? So if other people are also buying this, or if they are helping the community, etc., you can maybe think of that that way too. So Amazon is using this badge, and other e-commerce platforms are using this examples as well. And there's a really good example for scarcity principle. Now they have this countdown, right? So timers. So it's going back 15 hours, 14 hours. It's like, it's your only chance. So just find money somewhere and buy all of those stuff in 12 hours. Yeah, so scarcity working as well. And then influencers, we talk about influencers. They are promoting different stuff all the time. I didn't put them because I find them attractive. Don't misunderstand me. Right? So this is just examples. Like Kylie Jenner, so she's promoting this fit tea. Do you think that she's drinking this tea?
Maybe. No.
Maybe.
It's for free.
Yeah.
It's for free, yes. You can pay for it.
Yeah. Still, I don't think that she's drinking, to be honest, in my opinion. Because if they actually consume all the product they promote, they would be hospitalized. Let me drink this and eat this and wear this and everything. But since they have millions of followers, right? And even though they said that this is an ad or partnership, still people somehow go, oh, this tea? The Kylie Jenner promoted this. So that's enough reason, besides a satisfying. Let me try this. So it increases awareness and it also gives you a reason to buy it. Then you will decide whether you like it or not. Okay? And it's part of social proof. Because when you talk to your friend, you know that they know the brand because they're also following her. And then you can say, okay, did you buy it? No, I didn't buy it. And then one, like maybe worst example, because I don't like the brand. Do you know the Prime? I think we talked about this last week as well, right? Prime is a really good example of that social proof part. Because kids, like 10, 11-year-old kids, they were buying Primes, and it's normally like a £2 product. People were paying £20, £30 to buy it. Scarcity and social proof was in effect for them. And yeah, so it's just crazy. When you have this reach, you can actually use this, but you can also use this in a good way. Those are some of the billboards in America, and they try to give this message to high school students by using social proof and saying that 82% of this county school students do not drink alcohol. So you should be part of the crowd, okay? Because if you watch the Netflix TV shows, everyone is just in high school getting wasted, they are all drunk. It's not the reality, okay? So majority of the high school students, they do not drink at all, right? And another one, they put those billboards next to the nightclubs, and they said, most women drink 0 to 3 drinks when they party. So they set a benchmark in your mind. If you drink more than that, you know that actually you drink too much. You know, you should stop. And those are all social proof in advertising or like communication campaigns. Cool. And yeah, so this is actually example for influencers, like mega influencers and macro influencers. When we have like more than 1 million followers, we call them mega influencers. And for mega influencers, we generally see social proof in effect. And for micro and nano influencers, so people you follow, generally they have 10,000 followers, etc. They generally, you know, rely on authority, principles of authority, or principles of liking. So either you think that they are like you, or you trust their authority. So there are different reasons why we follow influencers on social media as well. Saying that